recording.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Wendy Livingstone, and this is Eric Johnson, one of the creators of Teamzy. And we are so excited to have everybody here. I actually heard about Teamzy about a year ago, but during that time, my mom was really sick, and I didn't use it at that time, which I'm kicking myself for now. But I really have been searching for something that could give me a simple way to work my business so people would stop falling through the cracks and I would know what to say that would feel authentic and not salesy. And Teamzy has delivered. And I'm so excited to introduce you all to Eric. And then he's gonna get rolling with Teamzy. I think you're gonna be really blown away by what this can do for your business. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that intro. Let me go ahead and mute everybody. Okay, so everybody's muted, and if somebody pops in loud, I'll do it again. No big deal. We'll do that here and there just to keep distractions down. But I want you guys to know that if you feel, the spirit move you and you want to say something, you're allowed to unmute yourself and do that. All right, that's just for whatever's going on in the background. So my name's Eric Johnson. Thank you, Wendy, for introducing me. I am the creator and CEO of Teamzy. Teamzy is it's a CRM. For those of you who know what that means, it's a contact relationship management system, and it's built specifically for network marketing. And we have a specific custom tailored version for Le-Vel that I'll show you guys. But it's a lot more than a CRM. It's built upon a philosophy of doing business that's kind of countercultural to what's being taught in our industry. And I think as I start to teach some of this to you guys tonight, you'll find it refreshing. Some of you will think, that's the opposite of what I've been taught. But I want you to know that it's not that one way's wrong or the other way's right, even though I think my way's right. It's that there's just different approaches. There's different approaches. And I'm going to teach you guys tonight how to build a business by relationship. Okay? So you're never going to feel icky, and nobody you talk to is ever going to feel icky if you build your business this way. And by the way, you'll get better and faster results, honestly. So I'm going to teach you a little bit first about the philosophy of relationship marketing. Then I'm going to take you into the tool, Teamzy, which will not only help you do that, but so efficiently that you guys will be able to do all of your income producing activities in less than an hour a day. And I may even go as far as to say you'll probably do 10 times as much as you're doing now in less than an hour a day. Okay, now I know you guys are like, he's full of it, but I'm going to show you. You'll love it. Okay, you ready? All right, so let's just jump in. And then at the very end, I'll do Q&A. I'll open Q&A. You guys can ask me anything you want. Let's see, where am I? Got a presentation to start with. Here we go. So this is what I want to talk to you about first. How to leverage relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Hold on one second. I got to go to one screen or else it won't look good when I record this for you guys. Let's start one. Let's do that again. All right. How to leverage relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Okay, so a little bit about my backstory. I come from the background of business coaching and consulting. That's what I've done my whole grown-up life, is helped people build business. Always by relationship. That's like, that's my sweet spot. How to build a business based on relationships. I stumbled into network marketing by accident. Probably like a lot of you guys. I was, I had my corporate career going. Everything was zinging along, and I found some products that really helped me. In my case, they helped me get healthy, lose a bunch of weight, and just get stronger and healthier. And I kind of fell into the network marketing opportunity simply because people were asking me what I was doing. They could see the difference. I ended up losing about 60 pounds in about 100 days. What are you doing? And I would tell them all the time. And eventually my wife said, hey, honey, you should just be a distributor for them. You're already referring them all day long. So I did. I signed up just thinking I'd make some extra money. I'll tell you a little bit more about that story as we go. But the one thing I realized when I started to pursue the opportunity as a real business, as a business consultant, I took a look at it and said, okay, how would I tell somebody to build this business? The first thing that I would do is say, you need to leverage your time. You need to figure out how to do this in a little bit of time and be super efficient, or else you're just going to be busy, right? There's a difference between being busy and productive. So I went looking for the professional tools that I figured must exist in our industry to help us do this. And I studied the leaders, the top people in my network. What were they doing? And they were doing stuff that I would never do. And like tracking on pads of paper or spreadsheets and things like that. I would never do that kind of stuff because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Since there was no tools in our industry that were any good, and there certainly weren't any based on relationship building, that's why we built Teamzy, just so you guys know. And I just want you guys to know a little bit about what's happened in Teamzy in just over 2 years since we launched. We've had more than 50,000 network marketers use Teamzy from, I think we're past 50 different networks now. And our active users right now are averaging over 90 days. They're averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits. So pretty strong. And I'm going to show you guys actually today, I'll demonstrate how you can connect with 20 people a day in less than 30 minutes. Okay. But first, let's talk a little bit about relationship marketing. Relationship marketing. What is it? Relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. Okay? Why am I telling you this? Because a lot of people think that relationship marketing is either selling things to people you know, which it's not. It's about building a business focusing on relationships. Or they think it's just like a kumbaya fest where everybody's hugging and loving on people, but they're not getting any business done. I want you guys to know it's a system to generate new leads in your business. And you need a mindset shift at the beginning of our call tonight that your business is not marketing, you know, the incredible nutritional products and things like that that you guys sell. That is not your business. Your business is generating new leads. You are in the lead generation business. Okay, so this is your principle that I want you to get first. You're in the lead generation business. That means you can be busy all day long, but if you're not doing the activities that generate new business for you, then you didn't work on your business today. Make sense? Okay. Next principle is this. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Your business is lead generation, and you generate leads so you can develop relationships with them. And I want you guys to know that if you start to think of people as relationships to build instead of sales to make, you will start enjoying the wealth of a farmer versus the short-term meal of a hunter. Does that make sense? And I'm going to show you guys how this works. What we do is we turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. We turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. I will show you guys know what an advocate is, right? You're all advocates. That's when somebody is so excited about something, a product, a service, they can't help telling people about it. I am humbled and grateful that Wendy is my advocate and corralled all you guys to this call tonight. Thank you, Wendy. That's what we want to do with you. You're going to invest some time into those relationships, and they will become your advocates. Okay. Next principle. And I know you guys, it's like drinking water out of a fire hose tonight. I'm going to give you a lot of content. So just hang with me. Hopefully you've got some notes going. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Okay. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. I just love that. If you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. By the way, I think if you have a new recruit and you're having coffee or whatever, talking about the business, you lead with that. Hey, I just want you to know if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. How many of you guys have ever come across somebody who is, less than trustworthy in this business? Have you guys come across anybody like that? Maybe in other networks? Yeah, unfortunately, this is an issue, and it's one that is, it's a big deal. If you haven't, how many of you guys have, if you haven't come across somebody who is overtly dishonest, how many of you have come across a prospect or even a friend or family member who's skeptical, who's guarded, who's not trusting, who trusts you, who trusts your life with you, but suddenly now that you're doing network marketing is skeptical of what you're talking about? Anybody? That is the investment of 3 generations of people doing dishonest things in this business, right? We've got a lot to overcome, and we've got trust to build. I'm going to teach you how to build trust in a second, but it's a big deal. And it's not all because people are scamming people. It's just all the little techniques that we're taught to do that are just a little disingenuous. How many of you guys have felt like, I could say that, but I feel like I'm being tricky or I'm just not being honest? Have you guys felt that way with stuff? Those little things feel that way to the people you're doing them to too. And that's why even when you come in with an open heart and trying to share, people are skeptical and guarded. We need to get to the point where people understand your heart is to help them. And that comes through investing some time. Okay, so let me jump back in here. Sorry. Passion tangents. I'm going to do them every once in a while. Share screen. Where am I? Where's my presentation? Okay, so here's some cool stuff about trust. Trust makes the work fun. Trust makes the work fun. If somebody trusts you even just a little bit, you don't have to convince them. You can get right to helping them, right? Also, trust takes away the icky feeling, that ickiness, that icky salesperson feeling. If there's some trust, it's not there for either side of the transaction. Also, you get to go for yes with trust. Instead of going for no, the whole concept that you're gonna just kind of proposition everybody and hope that a few of them say yes. And most of them will say no, and that's like a badge of honor, right? Because you're getting closer to the yes. So what do you do with those no's? You throw them over your shoulder like a dead body and move on. Some of those are your best friends and your family, right? In this system, we go for yes. Nobody's, I wouldn't expect hardly anybody to say yes right away. They're going to say no, and that's okay, because every time we touch them with this system, they get warmer, not colder. You can't go through your war market. You just make your war market warmer. So how do you build trust? I'm going to teach you guys the 4 essential ingredients to build trust. Okay, the 4 essential ingredients to build trust. The first one is chemistry. Chemistry. Now I'll go through them quickly and then I'll break them out for you. Chemistry. Number 2 is character. Character. Number 3 is competence. Okay, competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right, let's go through these real quick. I could do an hour on each one of these, so I'm just going to try to give you guys the overview. You get the idea. The chemistry. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? What is it about you they can relate to? Okay. An easy way to think of this one is this. It's hard to do business with somebody you don't like. True? So you need to be likable. Ask questions, find out what you have in common. And the cool thing is you have something in common with everybody. I mean, we chatted for like 2 minutes and people were like, I lived in Bakersfield, I did this, right? We all have stuff in common. Figure out what you have in common. And just a little word to the wise, because I know you guys are active on social media and things like that. And there is a thing about attracting like-minded people, finding your tribe. But at the same time, don't do stuff that highlights where you're different from a vast majority of the population. Okay? Find what you have in common with people and share that. Okay, next. Character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Okay, character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. Please notice something about my definition of character. You don't have it, you do it. Okay, it's not something you have, it's something you do. Character is an action verb. It's not something you own. And I need to say it that way because a lot of us, we feel like it's something we just have, and if somebody questions it, don't question my character. We get offended. You need to be demonstrating character. If somebody questions your character, fine, feel offended for a minute, I do too. And then correct yourself and say, I'm obviously not demonstrating to this person that I care for them. Make sense? Okay. And again, going back to how this shows up in your communication, in your messaging, in the way you talk, in the way you post on social media, everything you do needs to be demonstrating you're caring for your audience, for your prospects, for your team, for your customers. Okay. 3, competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Can you help me with my health goals? Are you competent enough to recommend the right products and get me on the right program? That's the first piece. The second piece is, now that you've helped me and I'm seeing a transformation, and I want to join the business, do I feel comfortable that you could mentor me in this business? Have you shown me that level of competence so I feel like I could choose you to mentor me into this business? It's really important. Now, how many of you guys, anybody on the call that's kind of newer, got some new people? Okay, so have you guys, maybe you don't have the competence level that your upline has yet. Have you guys ever heard the phrase, just fake it till you make it? You guys heard that? Don't do that. Don't do it. This goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago about building trust, about repairing the damage to the trust that's collectively been done to our whole society. Don't fake it till you make it. okay? You don't need to. First of all, faking it is not honest. It's not true. And any little thing that you do that violates the trust in a relationship takes a long time to rebuild. Right? Is that true? How many of you guys are married? Okay. So here's the thing. You don't need to fake it because your team is amazing, right? You can lean into the competence of your team. If you're brand new, say, hey, I'm brand new, but I've joined one of the best teams. These people are amazing. We have their competence at our fingertips. Okay. The training, when we want to join the business, the training that we're going to plug into on how to be successful. I mean, this team even brings the guy from Teamzy in to train. I mean, these guys are really serious about training. Okay, so don't worry about faking it. Lean into your team. Lean into your team's competence. And when you bring new people on board, teach them. Hey, as you bring people in, to have them lean into our competence, the teams. Okay. All right. Let me just. I got to mute a couple more people that popped on. I see a lot of you guys are on your phones and you probably can't see my screens, but don't worry, we are recording this. So you'll be able to get all of these notes if you don't get them all written down, okay? All right, let me jump back in here. All right, so here's the principle that I want to share with you on this one is people only care about three things. When they're going to do business with you, they only care about three things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me and are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Okay, you can see that we built these 3 points off of this principle. And these questions may not come out of their mouth. It's more of what they feel in their heart. Maybe they think it in their subconscious mind. It's not a conscious thought. It's just there. It's behind everything. When you come across objections, they come from these questions. These questions aren't answered yet, so they're raising objections. Okay? So yes, overcome the objections, but focus on building the relationship. Continue investing in that relationship until they can feel like they have an answer for these 3 questions. Make sense? Okay. Number 4 is consistency. Consistency is kind of a big deal, isn't it? Unfortunately for us, all the stuff we want in life is at the other end of a consistent good habit, right? How many of you are really consistent at your bad habits? See, there's good news. That means that we know how to be consistent. And we just got to figure out how to do it on the things that we want to change, right? But here's the thing. When you're building trust in a relationship, being consistent is probably the most important thing. Would you guys agree, parents, with building trust with your kids, how important is being consistent? Totally. So here's a principle I want to share with you. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. I lifted that from actually one of my favorite books, The Psychology of, it's called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put that on the screen. Psychology of Persuasion. Awesome book. Such a good book. I highly recommend it. Put it on your reading list. But this principle that people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. How many of you guys have ever been told that you inspire people? Has anyone ever said, oh my gosh, you're so inspiring. I've been following you on Facebook or Instagram. You're so inspiring. And doesn't it make you feel weird when somebody tells you that you're inspiring? I mean, I know that you're probably like me, hoping to inspire people or even praying to inspire people, but at the same time, it feels kind of weird, right? Because we're just normal people. But what it is about you that is so inspiring is they see you being consistent. And they want it. They want some of that in their life. The cool thing is being consistent is not only the best way to build trust, but it also has the added benefit that it attracts people to your team. It attracts people to you, attracts your customers to you. And I can't even tell you in my business how many times people have told me that they were my customer. They would be my customer no matter what product I represented because they just wanted to be part of the community I was building. And you guys will get to that point too as you work on this relationship marketing thing, is that people will see your consistency. They'll just want to be near it. Okay, it's kind of cool. So let me just ask you guys real quick. How many of you guys are pretty consistent? Are you guys consistent with doing things like, how many of you guys are consistently products of your own product? You use your products on a consistent basis, part of your lifestyle. Okay, and how many of you guys are consistent about, now just in the beginning we talked about them from California, so I say you guys all the time. I know it's almost all women on this call. I just want you guys to know it's like saying y'all in the South for me, okay? How many of you are consistent posting on social media? How many post social media consistently? Okay. So really what I want to ask you is, This question. The checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar would say, are you consistent with your relationships? Okay. Are you as consistent with your relationships as you are about, let's say, doing your social media posts? See, because this is the important thing, and this is what I'm going to teach about tonight, is the relationships. Being consistently connecting with relationships is the most important thing you can be doing in your business, okay? And here's one principle I want to share with you real quick, and that's this, that people won't believe you until they see you. People won't believe you until they see you. What do I mean by this? This comes from that I'll believe it when I see it. You guys are posting on social media, you're sharing your journey, you're inviting people to your events, you're inviting people to join your team, and there are a lot of people. Would you guys agree the vast majority of your friends on Facebook or your followers on Instagram don't comment or respond or interact with your posts, right? Those people are watching you like you're a TV show. They're enjoying the show, they're happy that you're in it, but they don't believe that you're really inviting them. Why would they? If you haven't talked to them since high school or maybe even longer, why would they think that you're inviting them just because you posted it on your Facebook page? Right? They just won't believe it till you see you. You guys need to understand that relationship building is a contact sport. That means you need to be in contact with people. Okay, you need to be in contact with people. I would go as far as saying you should be in regular contact with everyone you know. I know, but I know your time is scarce. That's why I'll share the tool in a minute that will let you do it in a little bit of time a day. But I want to share this last big principle with you, and then we'll jump into Teamzy, and that's this. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay, investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. I just want to share a quick example with you really quick. And I know we haven't jumped into Teamzy, but has this been helpful so far? You guys getting some good nuggets? Okay, good. So how many of you guys have ever received a really great card? Like a great, like from somebody you love, and in the card, they've written you a note, like a handwritten note, right? Yeah. And when you read that card, do you find, like me, that you get emotional? Do you guys get like that emotional connection sometimes? How many of you guys are total babies like me? And you're just like, that card is so beautiful. That's me. My wife's like, nice card, honey. Thank you. She loves me, but I'm the baby. There's always one person that's a little more emotional in the couple. When you get a card like that and you read it, and after you've had that emotional connection to it, what do you do with it? Do you just crumble it up and throw it in the trash can? How many of you guys throw the card away after you've read it? You guys, it's hard. I see a lot of like vehement no's. It's hard to throw those away, isn't it? Now, what do you do with them? Do you guys have a special place where they all go, or are they just kind of all over? You have a special drawer or cabinet or a box or a crate, something like that. Yeah. We actually had a drawer and then I got overfilled, and my wife this was years ago now, she went to Marshall's and she bought a bunch of these stackable boxes that all look the same. They're really pretty. And I thought, why'd you get so many? She's like, because we're going to fill them up. And they are like completely overflowing. So it's kind of interesting how people don't throw away these cards. Did you know that after people pass away, often what is most treasured by their family are the cards and letters that are left behind? Have any of you guys experienced this? It's crazy. Why are they worth so much? Now, here's another question. Have you guys ever received one of these? This is a happy birthday postcard. Not a lot of room for handwritten notes there, right? This is a postcard. It actually looks handwritten, but it's not handwritten. It's just fake text, right? It's from my insurance salesman, which was nice. Do you guys ever get these from your insurance people or maybe your dentist? My dog gets one of these from the vet when she needs her shots. It's nice, right? But does this go in the special card place? Do you think my children will treasure this someday and go, what a great... Now, what's really funny, this cracks me up. Is anybody here an insurance salesperson also, in addition to this? Okay, so I don't want to offend you, but I think it's funny. He says, I want to thank you for your business and the opportunity to help your life go right. He's my life insurance salesman. Isn't that funny? Like the only way he's going to help my family is if I croak. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I hope he's not planning anything, right? No, he doesn't want to pay it out. It's all good. So, but my point is, I digress. This has no value, right? How many of you guys throw this away without question? I actually have, do you guys walk through the garage to get into your house? Anybody walk through the garage to get into your house? I have a trash can inside my garage where the mail goes before it gets in the house. You guys have one of those? Like this wouldn't even make it in my house if it weren't for me saying, oh, this is a great opportunity to make fun of this on my call tonight. Now, there's a reason why this has no value. Anybody know why? This took no time. It took no time. It was nice, but it has no value because it took no time. The handwritten note in the card had value because somebody invested time. You ever think about that? It's so limited how much time we have. Now, do you think when your loved one or your friend or your husband or your wife was writing that note to you in the card that they were playing with Facebook on their phone at the same time? No way. It's impossible to multitask while doing that sort of an investment in a relationship. That is why people will hold on to cards for the rest of their life. And often the family will keep it after that. Now, here's just a little side note. I guess you guys understand my concept. Investing time is how you deepen a relationship, right? Now, am I telling you should be writing everything handwritten to everybody in your business? No, but if you're not, you need to incorporate that as part of your strategy. Cards, sending cards to your team when they do something great, something they'll keep forever. Just a little side note. I tell you guys a little bit of my story when I start showing you Teamzy, but I was laid off from my job after 12 years. I was laid off from my job in 2009 during the recession, like half the country. And I went looking for a new job. And every time somebody would give me an interview, I would write them a card, a thank you card, usually in my car right afterwards, and I would drop it in the mail so they would get it immediately. So eventually I get a new job, and I was there for almost a year before the economy started coming back up and I was able to go back to my old company. And as I left, I was in my exit interview signing the non-compete paperwork and stuff. I looked over to the desk of the assistant to the CEO, and what was on her desk? The thank you note I wrote 12 months earlier sitting on her desk. I didn't think anything of it. People treasure these things, right? This investment of time. So, okay, so that's a little side note. When you go into Teamzy, you'll see you can log Facebook messages, texts, calls, Snapchats, but there's also greeting card in there. So that's one of your things you can log. But you don't need to write everybody a letter to make an impact. In fact, I'm going to teach you guys how you can just send somebody a text message or a Facebook message. And because it's personal, it means a great deal. In fact, very few people are doing that. If you send somebody a message on their birthday on Facebook that says happy birthday, they might get 2 or 3 messages and they'll get hundreds of posts. So it's very personal. Even though it's only a few seconds, it's an investment of time. And I'm going to show you guys how we can focus on that to let people know we're thinking of them so that we can make their day and move that relationship along. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's jump back in here. I know you guys, I can tell you guys are my tribe. You like what I'm saying, but you're like, when is he going to show me the dang software? We're almost there. Wait, I've got one more slide. We already saw this one. There's that principle again, if you didn't get it down. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Just like me, when I was looking for something and I couldn't find it, so I built it for you. You need a system. You need a system. You need a way you can stay in contact with all your relationships. Okay? You need to know when to contact them. In other words, some people you're going to talk to more often than others, right? Also, there's, that you could talk to somebody too often. You just need to know. I don't want you to spend all day planning. You need something that just tells you, here's who you're going to connect with today. Also, know what to say so you can get a conversation started. You don't spend all day going, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to this person? What's the perfect way to phrase this? And you get stuck in overthinking. How many of you guys get stuck in overthinking? Yeah, I think Zig used to call it the analysis paralysis. Maybe it was Jim Rohn. One of those really smart guys called it that. Don't get stuck there. Just know what to say. Also, make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. Make sure nobody ever falls through the cracks. Okay, raise your hands. Who's had someone fall through the cracks? Everybody has. And people will fall through the cracks in a tremendous rate if you don't have a system to keep them. I'm actually going to teach you guys how to follow up today because even with Teamzy, you guys will have people fall through the cracks if you don't do it right. And I would say the vast majority of people in this business do not follow up well. But today you're going to learn how to do it right. Okay. So let's jump into Teamzy and do it. You guys ready? Where is it? Okay. So I got Teamzy. That's my Facebook. Here's Teamzy. Okay. Excuse me. All right, here's Teamzy for Le-Vel, custom built, ready to go. Now, I'm going to take you guys through the setup wizard, show you how to set it up. Before I do that, for everybody that is not already using Teamzy, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but I'll say it now. You can get a free 30-day trial of Teamzy. You can try it for free for 30 days. You get full access for 30 days. We don't ask for your credit card number or anything. Just get in there and use it. Okay, use it, love it. After 30 days, if you love it, then continue on with a subscription. That's all I ask. Okay, so go to teamzy.com, click Start Trial, and choose Le-Vel from the drop down. Cool. All right. And then once you're in here, and I'm going to show you, here's our dashboard, right? This is where we're going to work. Right here, today's activities is where we set our goals for the day. You can see I don't have any goals set. And the power hour is where we crush our power hour. So let me set this up so you can see how this works. I haven't done anything yet, so we're going to go to the setup wizard. It'll automatically drop you in the setup wizard when you come in, but this button will take me there. Also, if you just miss it, you can always get it from this menu right here. Okay, so let's jump to the setup wizard. Okay, here we go. What we're going to do in the setup wizard are three things. We are going to set your income goal. Okay, you're going to set your income goal, and then Teamzy will tell you exactly what you're going to do daily to hit it once you've set it. Then we're going to help you create a powerful why. This is something that a lot of people get caught on and they don't do because it seems too mystical or something. I'm going to demystify it for you and help you set one today. And then we'll get all your contacts into Teamzy, so you'll be super organized. You won't be looking for the little pads of paper or trying to update a spreadsheet you haven't updated in 6 months. Everything's going to be in one place, organized, and you'll be able to access it from your phone, from your computer, wherever. It's always there when you need it, okay? So let's get started. All right, so set your income goal. First thing I'm going to do here is just put a number in, okay? I'm just going to put a number in. What income level would you like to be at 12 months from now? I'm going to put in 150,000, okay? Is that the right amount of zeros? Yeah. And so whatever number you put in, put it in. Now, for those of you guys, I saw a couple of hot shots on here that I know have large teams. If you're already making a significant income from your business, I want you to put the difference. So in other words, if you're making $200,000 a year now and you want to make $300,000 a year, set your goal for the difference at $100,000 a year. Make sense? For those of you guys who are starting out or you don't have a lot of income yet, I just want you to put the number, okay? Everybody should be at least at 6-figure goal though, okay? Because with Teamzy, you'll be able to leverage it enough to do that. All right, let's keep going. So Teamzy is now calculating that I need to do 4,348 connects over the next year in order to get to my goal of 150,000. I need to connect with 4,348 people. That's a lot, right? Okay, so how do you eat an elephant? When you got to do something big, how do you do it? How do you eat an elephant? Do you guys know this one? One bite at a time, right? So we're going to go up to the next thing here. And this is called the breakdown page. This breaks it down for me. It breaks it into prospects, customers, and promoters. Then it breaks it all the way down to daily. So now I have a daily target, which is just to connect with 9 prospects, connect with 6 of my customers, and 4 of my promoters each day. That's 19 people. I'll show you in a minute. That's about 15 minutes of work. Now, these are suggestions. You can change these to any number that you'd like. This is just a suggestion based on the goal you set. Now, connects, just to clarify, what do I mean by connect with prospects? I mean simply just connect. Our goal with this reach out is not to sell them or recruit them. Our goal is just to connect and make their day. We call it the make someone's day mindset. And all we want to do is get them to smile. Hopefully we'll make their day and get them to, and they'll respond and we can have a conversation. So I'm going to show you, we've got some great like icebreaker scripts that you can use to start that conversation, and then you can have the conversation, you take it where it goes. Okay. And then the invites right here, this goal of 3, an invite is where you're inviting somebody to try a product, inviting them to an event, inviting them to learn about the business opportunity, inviting them to coffee to talk about the business. An invite is different from a connect. And so out of our goal to connect with 19 people up here, our hope is that 3 of those conversations will lead to an invite. Does that make sense? So we're not cold inviting everybody. We're starting conversations, having conversations, uncovering some interest, and we're inviting the people who are interested. That way our pipeline is full of really good qualified leads all the time who are delighted to be talking to us about it. And other people may take a little longer before they're ready for an invite. So they'll just be cycling through Teamzy. I'll show that as we go. Now, one thing I want to show you is if you're brand new and you have no promoters on your team, just make that a 0 and then add that for your prospects list. Okay, same thing if you have no customers. It's no big deal. If you have nobody on your team yet, make those 2 goals 0 and put everybody over here, okay? Now I'm gonna make it 10, 6, and 4 so it's an even 20 because I'm a little OCD like that. Oh, the last goal here is ads. These are new people you're adding to your list every day, okay? Which is one of the habits of successful business people is they're always building their network. So you always need to be looking for new people to add to your list. We call it fresh water coming into the business. Once you have all these goals where you want them, click continue, and now your Teamzy dashboard is set up to your goals. So each one of you will have a special, specific, custom dashboard to your goals. Okay, so now we're going to talk about finding your why. Finding your why, step 2. How many of you guys have a written why statement that you read on a regular basis? Okay, a couple people I've been through my training, so it's no fair, but it's good for you guys. How many of you guys know you're supposed to have a why and you think like I should do that soon? Anyone? How many of you guys have thought about it and you're like, it's just some weird hippy dippy new agey stuff that I just don't want to get into? Like, seriously, do I need to find my inner child to get my why out, or what? I'm like in between those two, right? So here's what I want you to know. You don't need to go to Sedona and get into a sweat lodge to find your why. The truth is, you already know your why. It's down here in your heart, and maybe it's not up here where you're thinking about it. And what we did was we've done a ton of research on this, and you could read whole books on this. How many of you already have read whole books on this? I have. But what I found is a simple process works best for everything in life, right? And so we're going to ask you 5 questions in the Teamzy Setup Wizard to get your wheels spinning. So you just kind of like start thinking about these questions, and it's just kind of, there it comes. There comes your why. So I'll take you through this process real quick with my story as an example, okay? So you can think about your own story as you do it. But I want you to see how easy this is to do and how powerful it is. And also how easy it is to lead your team through this process so you can help them get their why. Because here's what you guys need to understand. 1 out of 2 people in this business quit in their first year. Okay, 1 out of 2 people in the business quit in their first year. That's millions of people. How many of you guys have experienced this? You've been around the block a couple times and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm working so hard to bring promoters on and they drop like flies, right? Some of you guys might have even considered it. You might have been considering it today. And luckily you're here, so you're going to get a little fire in your belly, at least for a few days after this. We'll get you going. Here's the thing I want you guys to know. Everyone's a quitter. You and me included. Everyone's a quitter. We take the path of least resistance unless what? Unless there's a reason not to. That's why everyone's always preaching about the why. Will stuff happen to you? Yeah. I mean, I literally was hosting a team call like this for my boot camp a couple weeks ago, and a couple of people couldn't be on it. Why? Because there was tornadoes attacking their homes. Is that something that happens? Yeah. Do you think you might not want to build your business that day? Probably. You know, people have relationships that implode. They have financial crises. They have illness that happens. Accidents happen. All these things happen, right? Life happens, and life will get hard. And when life gets hard is when people will quit their business. But here's the thing that you guys may not have even thought of. What makes people quit more often are not big things. It's the 3 silent killers. You ready? Write these down because you'll want to share these with your team. The first silent killer is procrastination. Procrastination. You put it off a little bit, and never gets done. The second one is boredom. You guys ever get bored with this? Like you're like, I'm doing this all the time. I'm kind of getting bored with it. Boredom's the next thing that kills your business. And number 3 is the lack of visible results. Any farmers? Anybody a farmer here? Got a couple farmers? Can you imagine planting a seed and watering it and then quitting before the crop comes up? This is what people do in business all the time. Lack of visible results. Nothing's happening with those seeds I planted. It's all happening under the soil, right? Okay. You got to have a why. Having a reason why is the only thing that will help you through these issues. Big crises or boredom or procrastination or whatever, you have to have a reason why. I love the example that Darren Hardy gave in his book, Compound Effect. Who's read Compound Effect? Anyone read that one? Put it on your list if you haven't. It's a great one. It's basically a summary of 10 of the best self-help books from the last 30 years. He summarized them into one book. So you get caught up on a bunch of stuff. He gives the example. How many of you guys would walk across a balance beam placed across the ground for $20? Who would do that? Now, put the same balance beam across the spires of two 80-story skyscrapers. How many of you would walk across that balance beam for $20? Anyone? Now he says, how about if the other building was on fire? Anyone? No way. How about if the other building was on fire and your children were on the roof? Now you would do it. What's the difference? The reason. The reason. Now, I'm not asking you to walk across a balance beam 80 stories high into a burning building. I'm asking you to freaking open up your phone and message 20 people a day. Okay? But you still need a reason to do it, or you just won't. All right, so let's go in and do this real quick. Sorry. Another passion tangent. I love you guys are great. You're getting me into it because I could see you like in my, interacting with me. All right, here we go. Let's go through this. Question 1. Why'd you become a promoter? Why'd you become a promoter? So in my story, I used to be a Beachbody coach. I'm not anymore, so you guys don't need to worry about that. They wouldn't let me do Teamzy and Beachbody at the same time. I became a Beachbody coach because I lost a ton of weight. I was feeling great, and I just loved the culture. I loved the products, and I was sharing it with people. How many of you guys are like that? Yeah. So I signed up, figured whatever, I'll sign up. People already asked me about it. And it's the next question. What do you hope to accomplish? When I signed up, I just wanted to make $500 a month. That's it. I just wanted to make $500 a month. That was my goal. I didn't have a lofty goal to change the industry or anything. I just wanted to make some extra money. Anyone here for extra money? Yeah. Third question. Why is that important to you? Why is it important to you? Because I wanted to save it. I just wanted to put it in the bank. So when they ask me like, why do you want to make $500? I said, I want to put it in the bank. Now, there's somebody answers a question like that. There's usually something behind that. Why did I choose 500? Why do I want to save it? I'll just tell you guys the short story. I already mentioned that I was laid off during the recession. And that was a very scary time for us. Like for probably people on this call, half the country was out of work, right? I'm the sole breadwinner of my family, and we had small kids. My wife was pregnant, and we just didn't know what we were going to do. And it was really scary. So I went out and started, the next day I was beating the pavement trying to find a new job. And by God's good grace, we made it. I found work. We made it through the recession. Everything worked out fine, but we used our savings up and we started living paycheck to paycheck, right? Anyone relate to that? Yeah. And so at the time where I was writing my why statement, which was just about 3 years ago, oh my gosh, feels like 100 years ago. It's about 3 years ago that I was going through this process myself. We had not saved money in over 6 years, almost 7 years. We had not saved a penny. Anyone relate to that? Like we hadn't put anything in savings. If we did put it in savings for a minute just to feel good, it had to transfer over at the end of the month to pay all the bills. We had nothing in our savings account. And when I get into the network marketing opportunity, I thought, wow, if I could save some money, that would feel so good. Like a moral victory. How many of you guys like those like moral victories? I just wanted to save some money. So if somebody says, yeah, I want to save it, like ask them why. What are you going to save for? Let them figure out what's going on because you want them to get those emotions out and really connect them. Make sense? Next question. What would achieving this mean for you and your family? This came right out. I wasn't even thinking about it until I was asked this question. I wanted to buy a new house. I wanted to buy a new house for my family. We were in a home that we'd outgrown. We had, at this point, we had 4 kids. Everyone in the house was sharing a room, including my wife and I. We had baby. The baby lived in our room, as did our 200-pound dogs, right? So we were busy in there. There was no room to go anywhere and like take a breath where there weren't other humans around. And I love being around other people, but we just needed more space. And I was just dreaming about a new house. How many of you guys, that's your goal, is to get a new home? Suddenly, 5 minutes into this, I went from, okay, sign me up, to, wow, maybe I could get a new house. Maybe this business could buy me a new house. And I get to this last question, okay? Why is that meaningful? Why is that meaningful? How does this make you feel? Why is that meaningful? How does this make you feel? And maybe you guys can answer this for me. I don't know. Is buying a new home a meaningful goal? I don't know. Maybe it's kind of shallow, right? It's like a thing. Do we need a big house? I don't know. But when I started thinking about how it made me feel, here's what I realized. I had kind of one of those aha moments. The light bulb turned on, and it was this. The home's kind of symbolic for family, right? It wasn't the house that was the problem. It was my family. It was that my family, I wasn't there for them. I wasn't there for my family. And I wanted to be so desperately. I've always dreamt of having a family. And here I was going to work every morning. My kids were still in their pajamas. I'd kiss them goodbye. I'd go to work, right? And I would work, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, providing a good life for my family, right? And then I would get home from work. I missed everything they did that day. And they're getting ready for bed already. They'd already had their dinner, getting ready for bed. This was my job was to see them in their pajamas. And I realized going through this process that it wasn't just that I had already missed a few years and I was going to miss all of it. Because guys, what you need to understand is I had a career that I was very proud of. How many of you guys have a career outside of network marketing? You're proud of your career. I was proud of my career. I held my head up high. I had a beautiful corner office. I really liked what I did, but we hadn't saved a penny in 6 years. And I was at the top. There was nowhere for me to grow. There was not another level where I was going to get a promotion or something. I was at the top of my career and we hadn't saved money in 6 years. I hadn't really thought about it because I think I was in a state of subconscious denial, but we were stuck. We were stuck. And there was nothing my career was going to do to lift us out of that stuck moment. And something happened to me as I was thinking about this, thinking about the new house, thinking about my family, thinking about how I wanted to be with my kids, thinking about the life, visualizing the life that I really wanted for us. Here's the switch that happened. I stopped thinking about my network marketing job as the side gig, as the side hustle, as the extra money. And I started thinking about my career job as my extra money side gig. And even though I only had an hour a day right now to put into my network marketing business, I realized this is my primary vehicle. This is the thing that will get me the life that I want. My job, I'm as far as I can go. So I'm just going to let those guys continue to give me my salary while I work to replace it over here. Does that make sense? It was a huge difference for me understanding that the network marketing opportunity was better than my career opportunity. Plus it gave me the flexibility of time, right? Right before this call, my wife had for the big wedding we're doing this weekend, she went and got her hair done and all that. So I spent 3 hours playing Legos with my kids. That was my Teamzy work day right before this training call. I love that about my life, right? Like that was kind of cool. We built all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so my why. Let me get to this last piece. So thinking about this, I wrote my first why statement. I'm going to share my why with you guys, and you do your own. You can use mine as a template. It's kind of there as sample text in the last box. This is what I wrote, word for word. To create a life where I never have to worry about money again. I enjoy quality time with my family. I'm present for my children on a daily basis. I'm healthy and full of energy. Pretty cool, right? Now, what happened when I wrote that? Now, what you're going to do functionally, guys, you're going to write your why in this last box. You're going to type over mine, which is gray. Whatever you put there, when you click continue, it's going to save it to your dashboard so that you can read it every day before you do your power hour. It's really powerful. And do it out loud, even though you feel like a nerd, because it's reprogramming your subconscious mind. It's important. Just really quick, and I know that I went off on this tangent, and we're going to go do a power hour together in a second. But I just want you to know what happened for me when I wrote this down. As soon as that intention was set, as soon as I pulled it out of my heart and had it in front of my face, within 3 months, I left my corporate job, full-time in my business. I had nowhere to work, remember? So some of you guys know the story. I went to Home Depot and I ordered one of those sheds that they have out in the parking lot. I had it dropped in my backyard on the dirt. You know, the tough sheds? I had it dropped on the backyard in the dirt. I ran an extension cord out there. My son helped me build a desk out of an old closet door. You know, we just laid it down. I put my computer out there. I started building my business in a shed. We called it the shed quarters. And I did trainings like this, dripping sweat in the summertime, 100 degrees out there in my shed, making it happen because I had my why now. I understood. It was clear what I was working for. And there were plenty of days where I didn't feel like doing it. How many of you guys have those days. When you get your why in front of you and you don't feel it, I just don't feel like it today, right? Then you have to look at your why. In my case, this is what I have to say. I don't feel like being free from worrying about money. I don't feel like being with my kids. I don't feel like that today. Basically, once your why is written down, you have to choose, I want to stay stuck. It's like you're saying, I just want to stay stuck where I am today, in the life that I'm in today. Or do I want to invest 30 minutes right now and move towards the life that I really dream of? Make sense? It's huge. Here's one more thing on the my why. Once you get it, share it with your team, share it publicly, and tell them, give them permission to call you the carpet on it. So when you ghost in your team, when you ghost in the group, they can say, hey, what happened, Eric? I thought you wanted to be with your kids. Where are you? What are you doing? Where, oh, you're not doing anything. Oh, so you decided to stay stuck? Don't hate me if somebody does that to you. Remember, you invite it first. Okay, good. Accountability works that way. All right, let's get back in here and let's finish setting up Teamzy. The last step is getting your contacts in. So you're going to get your, there's 3 groups that you need to get started with right away. First, you're going to get your team in, right? So get your first level promoters imported into Teamzy. Okay? Second group you're going to get are your customers, get them imported into Teamzy. And then you want to get your Facebook friends into Teamzy. Okay, there's some videos here that will help you. There's also, if you skip, I'm going to skip the wizard. If you go over to our help center, which is over here, click that. There's videos and things here, many, many more to help you, but also there's you can get the step-by-step written instructions how to do everything. So you're going to get all your contacts into Teamzy so that you're super organized there in one place. Okay, and do it the order I said, promoters first, then customers, then Facebook friends. Okay? And then anywhere else you have contacts, you can of course bring those into. Okay. And when you do those, when you bring those in, you're going to import them from the team page. You're just going to click this import button, okay? And it'll choose your file. You pull your file up. Okay, you pull your file up, and then you'll upload it. Okay. So when you do that, when you bring the file in, it's going to bring you to your team page, which is here, which is where your whole list lives, right? Your team page is here. It's your whole list. And it's going to toggle on what we call rank mode. It's going to be like this. Boom. It'll look just like that. Rank mode. And what you do in rank mode, and anytime you want to go to rank mode, you do what I just did. You come to the team page, click these 3 little dots, and choose it, okay? Rank mode lets you jam down your list and give people a rating 5 stars to 1 star. Okay, this is important because some people you're going to talk to more often than others, and you need a way to create your list so that it prioritizes your best relationships first. Okay, 5 stars is awesome, 1 star not so much. Everyone's a 3-star to start by default, so you don't have to rank everybody. What you're doing is just looking for those 4s. You're looking for those 5s. And look, I'll show you the definitions. We define this as a 5-star is somebody most likely to become a customer or promoter, or an existing customer or promoter that's a rock star. Okay, that's your 5-star people. They're going to come up on your list every 30 days on your Power Hour. Every 30 days, you're going to connect with them. Say, hey, what you up to? Beyond the people that you think just are likely, these are your favorite people, the people you want to talk to the most, the people you like the most, the people that trust you the most are your 5 stars. 4-star people are also very warm. There's someone likely to become a customer or a promoter with a little nurturing, okay? Or they're an existing customer or promoter that's just a solid performer. They're going to come up on your list every 60 days just to stay in touch with, okay? It's just to stay in touch with. 3 stars could go either way. That's why we default to 3 when you bring somebody new in. They could just go either way. 3-star person comes up on your list every 90 days. And most of your list will be 3 stars, and that's okay. That's okay, okay? 2 stars, they're getting a little colder. They're every 120 days. 1-star people, they're on your list. You can look them up, but they're never going to be in your Power Hour, okay? So that's the ranking system. So once you've done that and you've gone through and done it, you don't have to save or anything. It auto-saves. You can toggle over. You're ready now to do your Power Hour. Okay, you guys with me? Great. So let's crush the Power Hour. I'm just trying to figure out why I'm not seeing you guys. Let me plug this back in so I can see you guys. Okay. When I do the keynote presentation and I have both my screens on, it records. It doesn't record the the keynote so you can see it later. I wanted to make sure you guys could see it later when you come back to the recording. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do our power hour. You guys ready to crush this? I'm going to show you now how you can connect with 20 people in 15 minutes, how you can do a whole power hour in an hour a day. And every day you can do that, create tremendous, tremendous momentum in your business. Okay, so here we go. You ready? So you can see here, these are the goals that we set and set up to connect with 10 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 promoters. There it is right there. All right. So here's my power hour box. See this right here in the middle of my screen? Now the power hour has 2 sides. The left side has my lists. It has my prospects list, my customers list, my promoters list, and my follow-ups. Okay? On the right-hand side is the connect box. This is where I log all the activity I'm doing as we go. Make sense? Super simple. So you'll notice the lists only show 5 names at a time. That's on purpose. That's to keep you focused and to keep you from getting overwhelmed. Do you think it would be cool if you saw that you had 2,000 prospects? No. What would happen is it gets overwhelming and you start skipping. I want you to be focused on who is up next, okay? So we're gonna start from the left side always with our prospects. The first person on my list who's up next is J. Lisa Swain, okay? So I'm gonna send her a connect message. I'm gonna use Facebook because Facebook is my favorite method of communication. Okay, and I've got it open in a separate tab, ready to go. Okay, Facebook Messenger is, without a doubt, the best method of communication for the majority of people right now. Just so you guys know, that could change, but right now, people are responding at the highest rate ever of any communication tool ever known to human beings on Facebook Messenger. So use it. And then my number 2 would be a text message is what I would send as a backup if I'm not connecting with someone on Facebook. Make sense? So now I'm going to send a message to Jay. Now this is where people get stuck because they go, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to her? I haven't messaged her ever. Maybe I've never messaged her. Maybe she's somebody I know, but I haven't talked to in years. Maybe I don't even remember who she is. Do these things happen? Yeah, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is you're going to go over here. There you guys are. I lost all your faces. Now I got you over here again. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to where it says scripts. See right here in the middle? You guys see that where I'm hovering? And we're just going to grab a script to get the conversation started. I'm going to go to Facebook and connect number 1. It's perfect. Hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. Now, if you guys have never messaged people, when you first start doing this, you may get people going, has your Facebook been hacked? This is really weird because you never messaged me. I don't want you to worry about that because you got to start somewhere. And you just say, no, it hasn't been hacked. Honestly, I just thought I'd say, hi, how are you? What are you up to? You know, and just continue the conversation. Don't worry about that because you're building trust and you're starting on day 1. So look, if you want to use this script, what I'll do is I'll click copy. Okay, now it's copied to my clipboard on my computer. I'm going to just come back over here to Jay's, to this box where I'm logging this. I'm going to paste it in there. So what I want to do now is just fix it up. First of all, I need to make sure it has the right name, right? Maybe I want to put an emoticon on it. Just a little tip. Always use their name in the messages. Okay? That way the message is always different too. Facebook won't think you're spamming people or anything. All right, so you got your emoticons, whatever, everything the way you want it. Now it's ready to send, but I have to send it actually through Facebook. Facebook doesn't let Teamzy or anybody else send messages on its behalf because they want to rule the world. So I'm just going to copy that again real quick and jump over to Facebook and send it. So I'll look Jay up. You can see even though I have to go to Facebook, it's super quick. There she is. Send message. Okay, message is sent. Now we're back, that's done. Now check this out. When I log this message by clicking the big blue button that says log connect, watch what happens. She's gone, my list has moved up 1, and I've got 1 up on my dashboard. Next person on my list is Wendy. Now check this out, I'm just gonna use this same script, change the name again. I didn't even have to get it again because it's still on my clipboard on my computer, just hit paste. Okay. Look, it's ready to go. Now, there's other scripts if you want a different script, or you can change them a little to sound like you. They sound like me already because guess what? They're my scripts. All right, so now I'm going to jump over here and look up Wendy. There she is. I'm going to send her a message. Same message. Bam. How are you? Now, look, don't worry about the fact that you're sending the same message 10 times. Each conversation is going to be totally different, right? This is just getting it started. All right, cool. You guys see how easy that is? Do you see how I could do all 10 of those pretty quickly? Even if I wanted to get another script, like if I wanted to go to connect number 3, which is a really great one too. I saw you cross my Facebook feed that I say hello. How are you? Hope your day's awesome. That one works great because if somebody's a Facebook friend with you and you've never messaged them, it's like, oh, that's a good reason. You saw me doing stuff. You thought you'd message me. Okay, so I'm going to jam down my list. When I get to 10 and I'm done with my prospects, I toggle to the next list, which is customers. Now I'm going to start messaging my customers the same way. I'm going to go to my scripts, get the conversation started. Okay, there's some great scripts here for customers. I like this one. Oh, you guys have a great product for this one. Congratulations on results, right? Congratulations on results. I saw your picture with your kids over the Memorial Day weekend. You look amazing. Right? Just a little message. Or this one I love, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So look, it's super easy, right? You're going to send these messages to your customers. This keeps you in touch with your customers. You don't have to set complicated reminders or anything. You just put everybody in Teamzy and you'll be naturally flowing through all your customers all the time. How many of you guys right now are in consistent communication with all your customers? Couple people. How many of you guys feel like wish you were? Maybe you wish you were. Yeah. So there's 3 reasons why you need to be in touch with your customers. And the first one is that reason why you feel guilty for not doing it already, which is you're a business owner, right? And it's like, that's your duty. Taking care of your customers is your duty. You need to be taking care of your customers. You just need a system to help you do it. This is the system for that. And the number 2 is this. I want you guys to understand, you may already know this principle. So sorry if I'm telling you something you already know. If you're in regular contact with your customers, they will order more product. If you are in regular contact with people, not selling, just in contact, they will order more product and they will retain longer on their automatic monthly reorders. So how many of you guys would like to increase volume and retention with your customers? All you need to do is stay in touch regularly. And if you get your team into a 30-day free trial of Teamzy and get them doing it with their customers, you'll see the whole volume go up. A good friend of mine who was in my first quarter boot camp with Teamzy, who was a leader in a different network, she has a substantial team. She's already, beyond 6 figures a year. She's got a good sized team. Their team volume as a whole organization went up 40% the first 30 days. She got them all into Teamzy trial. 40%. Isn't that nuts? How many of you guys would like to see an increase like that? It's just from connecting with customers. Okay, just being in touch. Number 3 reason, and the most important reason to be in touch with your customers on a regular basis is this. How many of you guys want new customers? Anybody? Where do you guys go for new customers? Do you know where the best place to get a new customer is? Hands down. It's a current customer. This is true for any business. The best source for a new customer is a current customer. People who are using products and like them, or even, dare I say, love them. How many have a customer who loves the products? What do you do when you love a product? You share it. You talk about it constantly. Everybody does. This is the way human beings are designed. How do you think society has survived? People are like, don't eat that. Eat that. That's good food, right? Since the beginning of time. We share. So here's what I want you guys to know. I'm going to throw a concept out there that's going to freak you out and get you excited, and that's this. Your customers right now already have people who are ready to buy for you. They're already lined up and ready for you. Just the question is, and I didn't see very many hands go up, you're not in regular contact with them. So the chances of you getting introduced to those people is small. Some of those people will buy anyways. They'll just find somebody else. Now, if you're in contact with your customers, especially your best ones, right, because they're ranked higher, you're in more regular contact with them, you're going to get introduced. You're going to ask them, hey, do you know anybody who needs to learn more about this? Oh, actually, I was talking to a couple of friends. Great. Can you introduce me? Can you introduce me? Don't ever ask somebody to refer you to them. Ask them to introduce their friends to you. Okay? You with me? Okay, so you got it? Don't neglect your customers anymore. It is your gold mine. It is your gold mine. I guarantee you, we've got right now at current count, we've got 78 people watching this. I bet 30 of you guys could get a new customer tonight by messaging some of your favorite customers and asking them if they know anybody who needs to learn more about this. Now, you may not want to just go, if you've never messaged them, you may not want to start with, do you know anybody who can help me? Okay, because remember, it's about helping them. Reach out and start figuring out a way to help them. How are you? Is there anything I can do to make your day? What's going on with you? How are you doing with the products? I'm proud of you for for the weight you're losing. Connect with them. Okay. All right. Next, the next group we're going to connect with in our Power Hour is our promoters. Why do you think we call this thing Teamzy? It's not just about prospects and customers, but it's about your team. It's about creating a family. It's about creating a culture. Okay. And again, when I talk to top leaders, they lose track of their team because it gets too big and they can't manage it. And so they neglect it. Teamzy will help you stay on top of it because you're just going to send a quick message. You're just going to stay in touch. I'm here to tell you guys, the relationship is everything. And it doesn't matter if you have a Facebook group for your team, great. If you do Zoom calls, awesome. It's not the same as a little message, one-on-one, heart to heart. Hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, is there anything that you need? Okay. I saw that you signed up a new promoter. I saw that. Congratulations. Just a little message. It's huge. It's huge. How am I doing on time? I've been talking a long time. Okay. I want to tell you guys stories all the time. Do you guys want me to tell you stories or keep going? I got a couple stories. Okay. So just a quick story. When I was on about messaging your promoters, I wasn't sure about this part. Like in my heart, I felt like it was really important. But when I was building the product, I was like, are people going to get confused by that? So when I was a Beachbody coach, and I know you guys do this too, because I see your posts on social, you do really well and you get the free vacation. You guys get the really awesome vacation somewhere, right? So my wife and I were on a Caribbean cruise, and the entire ship was people from the network. It was awesome. And working out on the deck with Tony Horton and stuff, it was fun. And at this point, Teamzy was starting to take off and people knew me as the Teamzy guy. And so people would be like, Teamzy guy, and then come talk to me and stuff. So I was talking to a leader who at the time was doing really well. She was somebody I was very impressed with myself. She was 11 months in the business, already at 6 figures income. Pretty awesome, right? And we were just talking, and her sponsor was one of we call them superstars, right? You got those people in your network that are like the celebs. They have such big teams and everybody hangs on every word. They're like celebrities. And I said, oh, that must be really awesome being personally sponsored by her. And she goes, oh yeah, it is. And I said, can I just ask you a question? Do you get to talk to her, or do you interact with her on a regular basis? Because this isn't like just somebody, some minion on her team. This is a very successful team builder as well, right? And she goes, well, to be honest, I haven't really talked to her since she signed me up. But if I need to, I can get to her. I just need to schedule time with her assistant. I said, can I just ask you a question? How would it be meaningful to you if every once in a while you just got a random text message from her that just said, hey, I was just thinking about you. Just want to let you know, I just saw that you just passed 8-star and wanted to give you, congratulations on that. You're awesome. And it was just like hypothetical. We were literally on the deck of the ship, talking, and like, I don't know what nerve I touched, but the tears just started flowing down her face. And I said, I'm so sorry. She goes, I don't know why I'm crying, but to answer your question, it would mean the world to me. And here's the thing I want you guys to know. You really matter to your teams. Now, some of you guys are new and you're like, my team is my husband and my cousin Sally. Great. You matter to those people for sure, but you're not going to be there forever. And in all the years that I've coached people in their business and they're starting a business, I say, you start building the systems now for your multi-million-dollar business. You start treating those 1 or 2 or 3 people now like you will treat people when you have 1,000 or 10,000 people. Does that make sense? Now, can you stay in touch with 5,000 personally sponsored promoters? You would probably say no, but I would say you can do a pretty darn good job with Teamzy, with a system like this. Does that make sense? So now you have the system, you have the way to keep them and for you to serve your team the way you want to. All right, so let's jump back in. You wanted the story. There's the story. Okay. So now I've done my prospects, my customers, my promoters. In this case, my goal was 20 people. Do you guys see how I could really do that in 15 minutes? Just sending the messages out. Now, be disciplined not to respond to the incoming messages. You're going to be excited about them, but wait until your power hour is over before you start responding, okay? Or else you'll never finish. So I'm going to prospects, customers, promoters. I'm just sending out those connects, sending them out. Now I get to my follow-ups list. There's nobody there. How do I get somebody on my follow-ups list? See, the follow-ups list is not automatic. You have to put people there. So who do I put on my follow-ups list? So when I message Wendy and she completely ignores me, doesn't respond, do I need to set a follow-up with her? You guys? You don't. Now, this is a cool thing. She doesn't respond. I don't care. Guess what? I don't need to set a follow-up with her because she's going to come back on my Teamzy list automatically based on her star ranking. So if she's, let's say she's a 3-star, she'll just come back in 90 days and I'll message her again. Make sense? Who am I putting on my follow-ups list? I'm putting the people on my follow-ups list who have shown some interest in the business and who I'm inviting to something. Make sense? So let me show you guys this really quick. Hold on. I'm going to mute again. I got something going on here. Somebody's having a beautiful walk outside in the wind. Okay. So here's how we do it. I sent my message out to my friend Jay, and she responds. She says, oh, hey, Eric, great to hear from you. Oh my gosh. Well, first, maybe she says, have you been hacked? Why are you messaging me? And I say, no, I'm just messaging you out of the blue. Just thinking about it. Great. So now we're catching up. So what are you doing? I'm asking her questions. I'm trying to find out what's going on in her life in the 20 years I haven't paid any attention to her. Right? What are you guys doing? They're a military family. Where are you guys? Where are you guys located? Oh, that's awesome. What's going on? And just catching up. And what I do in the conversation, guys, my first connect is designed to make someone stay. We call it the Make Someone Stay mindset. It's one of our hashtags, Make Someone Stay mindset. The conversation now, I'm asking questions. I want to learn about her, and I'm looking for her needs. I'm looking for her wants because I want to help her in some way. Okay? Now, out of, the goal was 3 out of 20. So what is that? 1.5% of the time in that first conversation, I'll be able to help them with my business. A lot of times though, it'll be whatever. I'll help them however I can. Maybe they need a new dentist for their kids and I know a great one. Maybe they need a prayer today because they're going through something. Anything, right? People ask me advice all the time about random things. You guys are experts on things. You can help them. But now we're having a conversation and we're talking and I'm listening for all these pain points. I'm listening to learn more about her. And she's telling me, she's got this great job, though she wishes she could be with her kids, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm listening. So then she's like, well, what about you, Eric? What are you up to? What are you doing these days? And I'm going to tell her, well, what's kind of cool. It's kind of weird, but I haven't worked. I haven't had a job in 3 years. You haven't had a job in 3 years. Are you okay? No, I'm okay. I have my own business now. What kind of business? Right. So now I'm telling her what I'm doing. She's like, wow, I've heard about that network marketing thing. Does that really work? You really make a living? Yeah, it's been great. And I got to leave my job. I get to be home with my kids. So I'm explaining it to her. So this is where I would invite her. If she's asking me questions, I would say, Jay, you'd probably be really good at this. Do you have any interest in learning more about it? She'd say, yeah, probably. Maybe. Great. So now I'm going to invite her to something. Listen, Jay, my team is having an event tonight. It's a Facebook event, live event. Some of the people on the team will be sharing their stories and what it's done for them. We're going to talk about the business opportunity. It's a great chance for you to learn more about it. Would you be interested in that? I'll send you the link right now. She says, yeah, send me the link. I'll check it out. Great. So now I'm going to email her over that link to the event tonight. And so what I'll tell her is, Jay, listen, I'll follow up with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. She says, perfect. So how do I do all that in Teamzy? Right? Now, just to clarify, because people get confused, how do I have that whole conversation on Facebook Messenger? I might not. A lot of times, if the conversation's going great, I'll say, hey, do you have 5 minutes? Let's jump on a Zoom or let's jump on the phone and talk a little bit deeper. Okay? So a lot of times, if the messaging is going great, I'll just say, hey, let's get on a call and talk. Here's the thing is, it's not that people don't want to use the phone. It's that people don't want to get called unannounced. Does that make sense? Nobody likes their phone to ring unannounced. Are you guys like that? I know I'm looking over here because your faces are now over here. I'm looking at your faces. But people do like to talk. They just need to, like, it's like setting a date. It's like dating somebody. You know, you don't just go kiss a stranger on the street, right? You got to take them out and buy them dinner first, right? So, okay. That's what phone calls are like now. They're intimate. So how do I get her on my follow-ups list? So let me just show you what I would do. First of all, Jay's not on my dashboard anymore because I've already connected with her. So I need to look her up in the lookup bar. See at the top? I'm just going to type in a piece of her name. There she is. It takes me to her record. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click connect. Okay. And this time, and I'll put in what I'm doing. I emailed opportunity link. Okay. Now, see where it says invite on the bottom left? You guys see that right there, the hover? I'm going to click that because instead of this being a connect, which is our default, this is an invite to something. And I'm going to call an opportunity call invite. I'm going to click on that one. Okay. Now Teamzy knows this is an invite, not just a connect. I'm going to send this. That was an email, right? Okay. Now, before I log this connect, don't log it yet because I need to set the follow-up. This moves her to my follow-ups list. I'm going to click on follow-up right there in the middle, and I'm going to set the follow-up. You can do any of these auto ones, or you can go to a custom date, send it anywhere. I'm going to do it for tomorrow because that's what I told her. See, it turned yellow. Now when I log my connect, it's got the follow-up set on her record. This has now moved Jay. She's no longer in my prospects list. She's temporarily on my follow-ups list. Okay? Which is cool because she can only live in one place at a time. So now when I do my power hour tomorrow, I do the same thing, connect with prospects, then customers, then promoters. Then when I work my follow-ups list, now I'm starting to get people on my follow-ups list. Now I'm going to do my follow-ups. Okay? Let me show you how easy this is. The follow-up is just like a connect. When you get to this person, I'm going to go to scripts. Okay? And I'm going to grab the follow-up script. See, it says follow-up number 1. By the way, my 10 best follow-up scripts are in here in order. You guys can just use mine. Just change the words a little. They're already refined and they work like crazy. Hi, Jane. Just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, there's the script. Copied. I'm going to put it here and get the name right. I know Jay and Jane are close, but your friends might not have the same name. Okay, there it is. Boom. Ready to go. Right? I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'll go over to Facebook. I'll look up Jay. There she is. Right? I'll go to her Facebook page. Send her the message. Okay, just checking in like I promised it would. Boom, send her the message. Now, when I log this in Teamzy, this is really important, guys. Pay attention to this detail. Don't miss this. I have to set a new follow-up so that she stays on my follow-up list. If I don't set a new follow-up, she goes back to default, which is, in her case, 30 days. I want to follow up again the next day. I follow up 3 days in a row, and then maybe every couple days after that, okay? That's just my thing. So now look, I logged that one. Now the follow-up is logged. You can see I got a follow-up logged. And now she's on my list again for tomorrow. Now this is really important. You guys see how easy that is? You see how you can keep people from falling through the cracks by doing it that way? I want to teach you guys something about this though. Did you guys know that 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and the 10th follow-up? Have you guys heard that? I got a few people nodding. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and the 10th follow-up. So here's a question for you guys. How many of you follow up 10 times? Hold on, let me go to the next screen because I don't have any hands on this screen. Not too many. Okay, here's the thing. And I understand. First of all, look, I'm just going to give you some grace. If you don't have a system like Teamzy, and there isn't another one like it, there's no way you can follow up that much and not lose people because it's just too hard to manage, right? But I know the real reason. How many of you guys just feel like that would just be so annoying, right? You're like, I'm such a pest. Okay, I'm going to teach you, those of you guys who stayed with me this long because I've been talking forever, are going to learn the 2 principles for following up without being annoying. They're real simple. Write these down. And if you do this, not only will people not be annoyed, but they'll thank you for following up. The first principle is this. And look, I know these contradict what other people have taught you, and I'm totally okay with that because the reason why, what other people taught you to do, you're not doing it. Right? The first principle is this. Don't ask someone to do anything when you follow up with them. Don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to call you back. Don't ask them to message you back. Don't ask them to respond. Don't ask them to complete their purchase that they left in the cart. Don't ask them to RSVP for your event. Don't ask them to do anything. If you give them no homework, you won't be annoying. That's the first principle. Do they think they know? Like, so for example, anyways, I don't need to go deeper on that. Number two, your follow-up needs to be in text format, not voice format, not video format. And it needs to be best is Facebook Messenger, second best is text. Okay, and it needs to be short. It needs to be short enough that they can read the whole message without opening it. You know, the little notification pops on your phone? They need to see your whole follow-up there. Why? Because they're not going to open it. Why do you guys not open messages when they come in? Because you're not going to respond right now, right? Who does that? Don't lie. You all do it. They're not going to respond. Here's the thing. Countercultural, right? We're not trying to get them to respond. The goal is just to get them to see it and read it. You understand? And because here's what I will tell you, the vast majority of people will not respond to the first 5 or even 6 follow-ups. They won't even respond. Crickets. How many of you guys experienced that? All right, let's be honest. You experienced it on 3 follow-ups. If you had kept going to 6, you'd probably still be getting crickets. And then what happens is you make up a story in your mind of why they're not responding. Oh, how rude, or they don't respect me, or I must have offended them, or maybe they're not interested. They're not interested in what we're doing, or they're broke, or I heard their marriage is on the rocks. That's probably it, or she's got a domineering husband. How many of you guys have made up one of those for somebody? You made it up because we can't deal with silence. We have to fill it with a story. Here's the truth. I know I've been talking too long. I'm still going to teach it to you. I don't care. Here's the truth. The human mind is wired to protect you from change. You guys know this. Your subconscious mind is there. It's part of your design to keep you safe. Your subconscious mind runs the show. 85% of everything you do in your life comes from your subconscious mind. Did you guys know this? How many of you have ever driven home and pulled into your driveway and thought, how did I get here? Has that happened to you? Scary, isn't it? Your subconscious mind literally drove your car while you were doing other things. People are worried about Tesla's autonomous driving. I'm more worried about people driving, right? That's a different story. Your subconscious mind rules the world. So I'm messaging Jay. She gets my, she goes to the event. She's like, this is cool. She talked to me. She's like, wow, could I really do this? She's excited. And then the next day happens. She gets my message. She sees it. And for a split second, she reconnects to the hope and excitement that she felt talking to me about the opportunity. That's what I want. Because what will happen the next second is her subconscious mind says, no way. We are not doing that. Network marketing thing is scary, change, unreliable. Don't trust it. We're not doing that. And so what your brain does is it distracts you. And so she's looking at my message, feeling hopeful. And all of a sudden, it's like, Jay, over there, the dog's throwing up on the baby. She's like, oh my gosh, the dog's throwing up on the baby. Doesn't respond to me. What happens the next day? She gets my message. She sees it on the lock screen. She doesn't even open it yet. She's like, oh yeah. Boom, something else happens. It's dinner time. I can't respond now. Next day, something else happens. She's not disrespecting me. She's just a normal human being. And her mind is protecting her from it at a subconscious level. This is the same reason why you can't break your bad habits, guys. Because you've programmed your mind to think that it's the right thing. Why can't people quit smoking? Because their subconscious thinks it's good for them. Because you've programmed yourself that way. Make sense? Here's what's happening. This is why people buy between 7 and 10. It's because you are lovingly reprogramming their subconscious to not see you as a threat. And when you do it in a nice way, so that you're not asking anything of them, you're not being annoying. Every time they see your message, they're getting a warm, fuzzy feeling instead of an annoyed feeling. And that is sending a signal to their subconscious eventually that they can just let the guard down and stop and let this person change their life. How many of you guys are here to change lives? Yes. Do you think your product is awesome and it will change lives? What would you say if I told you your product is irrelevant if they don't buy anything? Is that true? Doesn't matter how awesome your product is. If they never get it, you can't change their life with it. And the only way you can get the product into people's hands is by loving them through the process of following up. This is why I want you guys to get one of my favorite principles, which is this: following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. You write that down on a little, look, she's already got it on her sticky note. My A+ student here, she already has it on her sticky note, ready to go. Put it on the corner of your screen, have it ready. Following up is an act of love. Love people enough to follow up. When you don't follow up, this is the message you send: I don't care about you. How many of you guys want to send that message? How many of you guys have been disappointed in somebody who failed to follow up with you in a business standpoint? Yeah, and then you're like, I'm being annoying. Maybe you were being annoying, but now you know how to do it right. Follow up. Keep them on your follow-ups list. Every day you work your power out of Teamzy. You connect with your prospects. You connect with your customers. You connect with your promoters. And then you send the next follow-up to everyone on your follow-ups list. That's your power hour. Now, you'll probably need to set a second power hour somewhere in the day where you're just responding to all the messages, because you're going to create a flurry of activity every day. Okay? And you're moving those relationships along. Some of those conversations will fizzle, and you just let them fizzle. They'll come back on your Teamzy in a month or two. And then some of those conversations will generate some interest, and you'll invite them to something and follow up like a pro. Does that make sense? You guys see how easy this is? But love people through the process. Keep following up. What's going to happen around 5 or 6 when you get the first response is it's going to sound like this: oh my gosh, thank you so much for staying in touch with me. You are so awesome. I am so sorry I've been such a jerk and have not responded. And then you will get that message, and then you can message me and go, I really did get this message. You guys want to see something funny? I'll show you real quick on my phone. Just so you know, I actually get these messages. This is from somebody in the real estate industry that I do consulting for. But look, you won't even be able to see this, but do you guys see the message? See how it's circled? She says, okay, it worked. So this was a conversation that she started on Messenger with somebody, just using one of these scripts. And at the end of the script, she says, hey, I was just thinking about you guys. We're wondering how the market is now. Just curious about us possibly selling our house. This is a real estate agent that I work with. It works in any business. Being present, helping people, following up with them. Okay, so let me show you how to finish it off in Teamzy. And then we'll do some questions for those of you grenade heads that are still here with me after all this time. Where am I? Okay, so what we'll do is, so we're on the dashboard, right? And you're going to look her up. Okay, I looked in my back office. Jay signed up as a promoter. This is great because I've been following up with her forever. I'm so glad to see she finally joined the team. Some of the best people, by the way, take the longest. How many of you guys took a long time? Yes. So don't give up on people. Here's the thing I will tell you too. How many of you guys have been working with somebody in the past and you kind of gave up on them and then they signed up on someone else's team? Guess what? You know what happened, right? Do I need to explain it to you? You just didn't follow up long enough. They weren't ready yet, but somebody else was there when they were ready. All right, so here's what we do. We go to Jay. First thing I'll do is I'll log the sale, right? Just so Teamzy knows. Let's say she got a promoter pack, right? Whatever. Save that. Now Teamzy knows that, oh, all of those follow-ups, now I got a sale, and I can track. Over time, you're going to track your ratios. How many connects it takes you to get a sale, how many sales it takes you to get a promoter. Those are important ratios. You guys are on day one. You don't need to worry about that, but it helps you project your business and forecast where you're going in the year. Make sense? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move her. See where it says member type? She's a prospect. I'm just going to click promoter. That changes her to be part of my team and personally enrolled. Now she's been moved. Jay lived for a while on the prospects list, and then on my follow-ups list. Now she's on my promoters list. Make sense? Okay. How many of you guys feel like you really did just drink water from a fire hose for an hour? Yeah, or more. Yes. Okay. Do you guys have questions? If you have questions, just unmute and ask away.
Hey, Eric, I do have one question, and I don't know if you want to cover this tonight. It might be too much information. But one of the things that I found really, really helpful were the tags. So some of the ways I use those, like within my promoters as I'm going through, so like if someone's a local promoter, I'll tag them as a local promoter. So like when we're going to have events or something, I can kind of separate those people out. Or like when we've got people in their VIP window in the first 2 weeks, I'll tag them because those are people I'm going to follow up with every day. Or like if somebody's trying a mini experience, I'm following up with them every day. So I'll tag them with a 3-day mini experience, things like that. But I have found that very helpful to get even a little more precise with my follow-ups.
Yep.
So could you maybe talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So what she's talking about is Teamzy has a really simple tagging system that allows you to create as many little subgroups as you want. And I won't go too deep into this tonight. I'll just show you how to do it. So if I'm on the dashboard with Hobie, I can put a tag on his record by clicking details right here, and you can see the tags, right? So whatever tag you want to create. So everyone with that tag will now be in a group that I can search for on my team page. Now, one of the things I did a whole training on this in the Help Center. I'll show you where it is in a second. I did a 60-minute training on how to use tags and different ways you can leverage them. But for example, you want to tag, like I always tagged all my veterans, for example, and then on Veterans Day, I would message all my veterans one-on-one instead of just posting a pretty post on Facebook. I'd message all my veterans or send them a card or something. So you can tag any sort of group. I would tag every product that somebody buys. When they buy a product, I would put a tag on there. Then I could grab a list. See, because then when you're on your team page, you've got a tag. So there's a VIP tag. When I click that, it would give me everyone with that tag. And I could also go up here and I could search for additional tags. I could do, everybody that has this tag, and this tag. I could refine those lists. So the tags are really helpful. I don't want to confuse you guys though that are just thinking about getting your 30-day free trial. Just get going on your Power Hour. But if you go into the Help Center here, there's a bunch of trainings that you can watch. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys have learn attributes, which means you love learning, but I want to warn you against not doing. You need to be doing. That's why when I do a training course now, I do boot camp, which is like, I'll teach you, but you need to be doing stuff. I need to be seeing you do it. So go in there, get your 30-day free trial and start doing Power Hours. And in the meantime, you can start learning, okay, as you go. Here's the tags training right here. Organize your contacts using tags, okay? You can learn as you go, but get started. Don't spend all your time learning first. Seriously, fire, ready, aim. Is that encouragement for you guys? Okay. Who else has a question?
Hey, Eric, I have a question.
Hey, Courtney.
So what is your recommendation as far as presenting Teamzy to new promoters that are enrolling? Because I know for me, some of my new promoters seem really overwhelmed with all the information and things they're learning. But their biggest thing and their biggest question for me is, prospects and follow-ups and things like that. How do I present Teamzy to them without feeling like it's going to overwhelm them in addition to what they're already doing?
Good question. Now, here's the thing. It's the fact that there's a 30-day free trial really helps, right? So it helps them to generate some momentum. I always tell people that, this is a good way for you to see who's going to be a builder and who's not. If they're willing to use the free trial and actually go after it and try to use it, do some activity in it, that's a good indicator that they might become a builder. Though that's not, some people are slow starters. I would say, look, there's a lot going on with all the things as a new promoter. This is a system that's designed to simplify the process for you. The good news is almost every single Tuesday night, I do a live webinar where I do a walkthrough of the system. So you guys can be plugging your people into the webinars every Tuesday night. Now, every once in a while, I miss one because it's a holiday or because my kids have something going on, but I'm still doing at least 3 a month. So you're never long from getting somebody into a live training with me on how to use the system. So the easiest thing for you to do, Courtney, is to say, hey, just check out this webinar if you can on Tuesday night, because the system is the bomb. Right? I mean, here's the thing is usually when you get a new person in your business, you have to set them down and go, okay, we're going to make a list, right? And we're going to look through the list. We're going to prioritize them. And then I want you to start connecting with people on the list, right? And so it's just kind of a 1980s approach when they already have a list. Like they're already connected on Facebook. They're already on Instagram with these people, right? We just need to get a system put to it so they can get going with it, if that makes sense. So I guess my answer to you is Teamzy is one more thing, but it's something designed to make it easier for them, if that makes sense. And honestly, people can get really good results their first month using a system like this. And you want to get them a sale. So for example, when I was in the business coaching business, working with real estate agents for decades, my goal was, hey, when you hire me, like I want to help them generate a sale my first 30 days because they'd be like, wow, you put money in my pocket. And that's Teamzy's designed the same way. So you get a new promoter in and you get them using it. It's designed to help them get a few sales their first 30 days. And then once they get that kind of like excitement and that win, then you have a better chance of keeping somebody engaged. Make sense?
Hey,
Yeah.
I would say too, in the boot camp that we're in, don't you think, because there are people in there who are pretty new with their companies. And I always tell people, I wish I had started this when I was brand new in network marketing. It's much more overwhelming to me when you're trying to load thousands of people into the system and rank them. People get all tripped over ranking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas I had started at the very beginning and built it, people would not have fallen through the cracks, and it would have just simplified everything all the way along. Yes,
that's a good point. But I have to just give you I just got to poke you a little bit for fun, because I love it when leaders say, I'm so overwhelmed having to rank my incredibly developed network. It's like a rich person complaining about having to unpack all the rooms in their mansion. Right? Okay, but I get what you're saying. Now it's so funny because I was on a Zoom with a friend of mine who's in Redan Fields. She's at the top. She's at their top rank for their network, and they're taking their top 20 or whatever to France, the French Riviera, this week on a VIP. Like, she was getting ready to go. It was pretty cool, and she was telling me the same thing. I wish I had this when I started. And I want you guys to know why she wished she had it when she started, because she got to the top rank in her company in 4 years, which is pretty amazing, right? She built her business the way it's traditionally done. Cold messaging, slamming the numbers, going for no, right? Just relentlessly going after people. She says, here I am at the top rank of my company, and I worry about how I'm going to maintain it, because I didn't build any relationships along the way. There's no foundation. And so my only hope is to keep cranking through people the way I did. Or now she's going back to build relationships and start building the foundation. She's like, and here's what I want you guys to know. The difference is both work. Both approaches will work. But when you build a business based on relationship, you have a foundation there that the people don't change. Like, you don't have to churn through people. Like, all those relationships are still there. They get stronger. They become advocates. They bring people to you, right? And you don't have to like churn for the next. Now, you always want to be meeting new people. That's true. But you have a foundation when it's based in relationships. Does that make sense? So a lot of times people will tell me they wish they had it from the beginning for those two reasons. One, because the relationship foundation means that over time, you don't have to work as hard, right? And also, it is faster because it's systemized. Does that make sense? So you guys will find that you are able to get consistent results, and it's also more fun. So, all right, who else has a question? All right. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of messages here. I'm not going to read all those right now.
I'm talking over somebody. You mentioned your Tuesday night webinar. Where do we find that at?
Okay, so usually I will email everybody that's within a 30-day free trial every week that we do it. But I'll send you, Wendy, are you the person that's the best to share links with?
Sure. Yeah, you can share it with me, and I can get it to Missy Cremp, who's my sponsor, and we can get it out.
Okay, great. So I see Missy. Missy's actually sitting right on top of your head on my screen.
She's always on top of me.
She's right on top of you. Okay, great. So Missy, why don't you should friend request me too after this. It'd be good to be connected to you too. So great. I'll get you the link. Now the cool thing about the Tuesday webinar, the link never changes. Okay, the link never changes to that. It's just a recurring one. So once you have it, it's good to go. The other thing that I do is I always stream it live to the Teamzy Facebook page. So it'll just pop on live and I'll get a bunch of people on there too. So that is not going to be as in-depth as this training though. I promise you that. It's a lot shorter, right? It's like a 40-minute training. This was supposed to be a 40-minute training, but I got excited.
But we're so awesome.
Honestly, my wife's like, how do you talk that long? I said, I don't know. I just see their faces. They're liking it. I just keep going. I can't help it. I get excited about helping people. And here's the thing is I know with a group like this, I know that there's some of you guys tonight who I connected with, and this can be a turning point for your business. So I'm excited about that for you guys. Does that make sense? And some of you guys are excited, but you're going to fizzle out. It's like the story of the seeds, in the Bible, where some of them fell on rocky soil, some of them fell on shallow soil. Some of you guys will grow deep roots in the system. I'm not equating myself that high, but I'm just saying you get the idea. It's an analogy. Okay.
Eric, I have a really quick question. If we wanted you to come on, Missy and Wendy very graciously offered some of the other 200K leaders that are not within their network to join you tonight. If we wanted you to share within our network, is that a possibility as well? Yeah. Or you have a special relationship with Wendy only?
No, not at all. Wendy's in my boot camp. And so one of the benefits was, for the early birds is that we could do a team training, but I will do a team training for you for sure. The only thing I ask is, and it's probably not a problem, is that for me to come in and do it, I just want at least 25 promoters on the call. That gets me energized and I know that I'll have a chance to make an impact. So that's all. You send me a friend request, message me, and we'll get it set up.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sure thing.
I have a question.
Hi, go ahead.
So I'm most of the time when I do my business, I'm at home and I do it on my desktop, but there are occasions, with travel where I just have my phone. How does this system work between the beautiful full screen layout of my desktop and then the constricted screen view on my phone?
Well, I would say most Teamzy users are working on their phone. Here, I'm going to bring it up for you, but I'm closing the 7,000 apps I have open just to spare you guys. I would say most people use it on their phone.
Oh, really?
Yes, because your phone is always with you. It's just so weird because, honestly, can you guys remember the last time that your phone was very far away from you? It's never far away. So we always have your whole business. Here it comes. There's my phone. Okay, so look, you guys notice right down by the bottom, you can see the Teamzy icon there. It's not an app. It is a mobile web page, but I saved the shortcut to my desktop, so it's like an app. I can just touch that. Okay, and this brings up my Teamzy. Here's the view. Okay, so it's pretty cool. I can search for anybody by name. So if I wanted to go to their record, I can add a new person by clicking that little purple guy on the right. So if I'm meeting somebody in the grocery store, I put them right in Teams. I don't have to write it down and remember. It's right there. Okay, so look, here's my power hour. So the first person on my list is Jody. Okay, so I can connect with here. I can get my scripts. So watch, check this out. I'll get my script, copy it, just like we did on the desktop, right? Now what's cool is now I just toggle over to Messenger and I can send it. I'll send it to Jay because Jay works for Teamzy, so she lets me message her all day long. Right? So I can send it, boom. You see how easy it is? Toggle back. Log it. Oh, wait, that's my script. Close that. We're going to log it. Boom. Next person on my list, just like I'm at home. How cool is that?
Oh, thank you so much for demonstrating that, because I'm one of the ones that I'm more connected at the hip to my desktop than I am my phone. I usually feel pretty lost when I have just my phone to work from, but yeah, that demonstration, I'm a visual learner, not so much a hearing learner. That was perfect.
I have to tell you, I don't like typing on my phone because I have big thumbs, right? But doing my power hour, because I'm able to copy and paste the scripts, there's very minimal typing. It's perfect. I honestly, if I have a big conversation, I will try to get home to my computer too, so I can really jam on my keyboard. But like if you're going to pick up your kids from school and you're waiting in that wait line, how many of you guys have small kids and you have to pick them up from school? You get a few messages bammed out during then. Like the ideal situation is that you schedule a power hour to do this every day. But if you don't have a power hour, but you can grab 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there, you can still hit all your goals. Pull up your phone, send the messages. Does that make sense? So ideally, you're going to get to a point where you schedule your power hour. You're going to get to where you have your day blocked out where you can be really efficient with it. But start where you can start.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Any other questions? I know we've been on a long time. You guys, has this been helpful? Good. All right. I
just had to agree with Wendy, and I know Jamie's probably nodding too, but being in the business for 3.5 years, I literally was talking about my lime green notebook and how I have those treasured pages from people way back. So I appreciate this. It's just been very interesting, and the training has been very helpful because seeing and then, learning as you're showing has been very helpful. So thank you very much.
Sure thing. My pleasure.
Eric, this is Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hey, I just wanted to share a success for those of them that are not. I'm in the boot camp as well with Wendy, but I did your apology script yesterday. Mm-hmm. And to a person that was on my original chicken list for a very long time, but no response for him for almost a year. And he came back with no apology necessary. I'll let you know when I'm ready. How's it going? And so it opened a whole world of conversation. So yeah. I was just, I could not believe that it was just that simple. So thank you. Thank you.
The number one, okay, so thank you for sharing that. And I'm really, I'm excited to hear that, the number one thing people do in this business, they overthink. They think, so what Donna's telling you guys about is something we're doing in boot camp this week, which is we're repairing damaged relationships. People that we ran over in the business where we were like, oh my gosh, you need to do this, and we kind of came on too strong and they're just like, no, thanks. Right? Anyone done that? So it's just a simple, and people think, oh, how would I do it? It's just a simple message that you just send them saying, hey, I'm sorry if I came on too strong in the beginning. Your relationship means more to me than the sale, and it's just a simple message. And what's cool, Donna, is so many people have shared with me that script, how it's really opened doors. And in boot camp 1, someone actually posted a similar thing, like no apologies necessary, thanks, or something. And then boom, the question was, can I buy this? Like specific, they were ready to buy. Like as soon as it was just kind of like, yeah, that air needed to be cleared. Thanks. Now I'm ready to buy. So it's all good. The thing is that people are watching you. They're watching what you're doing. They want to trust you, but they don't know. They're skeptical. So you need to share your heart a little bit with people, be a little vulnerable with them, and let them know that you're the real deal. Does that make sense? And so, but you've got to be the real deal first. So, okay. Well, you guys are going to think of 100 questions later, and that's okay. Couple things I want you to do. Remember, go get your 30-day free trial. I know we did lose a few people here because we've been on a long time. I highly recommend you get a success partner for 30 days to do the free trial with you. Okay. Choose somebody, sideline sister, whatever, somebody that you know. Somebody who is motivated like you. They don't have to be the same rank. They just need to be motivated. And what you'll do during your free trial is when you complete your goals for the day, you just take a little screenshot and message it over to your success partner. Okay? Can you guys do that? If you get a success partner and do that with each other, you will get 100 times the results as if you did on your own. Because what will happen is at 10 o'clock at night when you did squat today, your partner just finally did theirs, and they're going to send you that message while you're laying in bed. This has happened to me. This is what I'm telling you from experience. You're laying in bed, you get the text message, and you can see without opening it the little circles that it's the Teamzy screenshot. Shoot. So what are you going to do? Be a loser? No. You're going to roll over and send a bunch of messages and send that screenshot back to your partner. Okay? It's going to help you get a lot more out of it. So do that. Get your 30-day success partner with you. And I'll give you one more action step, and that's this. Okay? Here's an extra challenge. I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge. I want you to connect with 100 people in 5 days. Okay, that's 20 a day. That's the same number I demoed for you tonight. Okay, but it has to be 5 days in a row. You can't take a weekend day off in the middle of it. You got to do it when you can do it 5 days in a row. Why do I want you to do that? I want you to experience how much momentum you can actually create in 5 days. Okay, now you are going to need to set aside some time to have conversations because you're going to create a bunch. Okay, you're going to create a bunch, but I want you to message 100 people in how many of you guys are in for that? 100 people in 5 days. Now, a lot of times, a lot of network marketing companies tell people to do that anyways, 100 people in 5 days, but they want you to invite them to try a product or watch a video or something, and people hate that. All I want you to do is say hi, start the conversation with 100 people. Okay? Sound good? Mm-hmm. Just do it. You'll be blown away and you'll be hooked. I'm just going to tell you right now, you do these things that I just told you, you will be hooked. You will be a Teamzy customer. You'll be paying me for the service, and you'll be doing it with a smile, which is a win-win for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Now, well, I didn't tell you this, but at the end of your 30-day trial, Teamzy's $29.99 a month US, for those of you guys who are, if any of you are international. It's US. That's should be very less than the commission on one sale you generate with Teamzy, but it's less than $1 a day to have this system work in your business for you. Okay. And those of you guys who are new maybe don't know what you can write off. It's 100% write off, tax deductible. So, and then if you're really in love, you can do it a year at a time and save a couple months off the year that way. Sound good? Okay. So I can't wait to see you guys. Oh, one thing I did not mention also is when you get in there, we have a Teamzy community on Facebook you can join to. When you get your free trial, you'll see that link in there where you can join the community. Make sure you get plugged into that Facebook community too, because there's a lot of great ideas and stuff being shared in there. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I do appreciate it. I'm honored to be here with you guys. Those of you guys who are leaders from other teams, you can message me and we'll set something up for you guys. I wish you guys the best. God bless you. And let's do it. Let's change this industry together.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.